Hello, and thanks for watching another edition of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about how Texas is about to join the civilized world, and we'll put to rest a few of the rumors and misconceptions surrounding HB 1927. But before we get started, I want to tell you about the fine mahogany night vision products with custom Corinthian leather trim offered to you by our friends at TNVC.com. Artfully handcrafted by earnest, hard-working Amish operators, TNVC Night Vision is unique and uncompromising, just like you. If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, TNVC.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night.
I'm particularly fond of these. I pulled them out of a place on Midgard called Texas.
Texas finally joined the rest of the civilized world and passed permitless carry, folks. Kind of. Actually, the Senate did pass HB 1927, but with amendments. So as of this recording, it still needs to be reconciled with the House version. The House could vote to pass it with the amendments, in which case it would go on to the governor for a signature. Governor Abbott has said he plans to sign it, but if the House doesn't accept all the Senate amendments, it would go to a joint committee with members of both houses to reconcile the two versions. At this point, it is very likely some version will get passed, but it could take quite some time. It was looking pretty dicey for a while there, with Lieutenant Governor Patrick proclaiming he didn't believe HB 1927 had the votes to pass and refusing to allow a vote. You folks made your voices heard, and the politic-critters did the politicking necessary so that we could get the votes that we needed to get it past the Senate. It was a close thing, and there were a lot of what-ifs and objections, so HB 1927 isn't going to be a simple constitutional carry bill like other states where it just strikes the language about unlawful concealed carry from the statutes. There were several amendments that were required in order to get this bill passed. So what are those amendments they tacked on in the Senate? Well, some are good, and some are bad, and some are just plain dumb. Let's step through this, shall we? The first one I'll cover makes it illegal to carry a handgun while intoxicated.
How and why are you drunk at 6 o'clock?
Well, the how's pretty self-explanatory, and the why is because I thought we were leaving at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Ergo, Latin, plenty of time to sleep it off.
This is just another one of those things where I don't think you ought to do it, but that doesn't mean I want the government to put you in a cage for it. And if you want to make the comparison with driving while drinking, I'll argue this isn't about operating the gun, that is, shooting it while drunk. So this is more like making it illegal to have a car parked in your driveway while you're drinking. Bottom line is, I don't think the state has any business punishing people for what they think you might do. The next amendment reverses a provision added in the House which made it so it would only be illegal to carry in a prohibited area if you refuse to leave after being duly and verbally notified. With that language stricken, it will still be a crime to ignore a lawfully posted no guns 30-06 or 30-07 sign. Of course, property owners ought to be able to ban guns or wheelchairs or red shirts from their property if they want, but it shouldn't get you locked up if you miss their sign. Another amendment requires the Department of Public Safety to create a free online gun safety class. That's cool and all, but as I've mentioned many times in the past, I think law enforcement agencies ought to be required to give free gun safety, marksmanship, and defensive firearms classes in person. And there's an amendment which increases the penalty for carrying a handgun illegally if you were convicted of a felony or domestic violence misdemeanor. Obviously, that's already illegal. This just increases the penalty. I've told you before, I don't think there should be such a thing as a prohibited possessor. If you can't be trusted with a gun, you should be locked up. If you are released from prison, you should have your rights restored. On the other hand, our society currently releases a lot of people who probably shouldn't be, and this really isn't a hill that I'm willing to die on right now. Related to that one is another amendment which makes it illegal to carry a handgun if you were convicted for a terroristic threat, deadly conduct, assault causing injury, or disorderly conduct with a firearm any time in the last 5 years. Again, if you're really too dangerous to trust with a gun, I believe you're too dangerous to trust with a park bench across the street from a playground. And finally, one amendment which is solidly good. It explicitly declares police are not allowed to stop someone just to go fishing because they saw a gun. Obviously, I'm solidly in favor of this one. Sure, I could be carrying illegally. Sure, I could have something illegal in my trunk.
Well, you got a dead hooker in the trunk.
What? No, it can't be.
Yes, it was. It was a dead hooker.
It wasn't a dead hooker!
But just because my car has a trunk doesn't mean police should be able to go poking around to find out if I have something illegal in it. They need to articulate rationally why they believe a crime has been or is currently being committed in order to arrest a person. Now, while I'm obviously opposed to most of these amendments, I also don't really consider any of them to be too onerous. We can campaign to get any or all of them stricken in future sessions, but for the time being, I think they are a reasonable price to pay to lift the far more offensive restriction on carrying arms without a government permission slip. The people of Texas deserve to exercise their right to bear arms without infringement. There's no reason to expect concerted opposition to the amended Senate version of HB 1927, but it's still possible for time to run out in this session. Don't let this stall. We are on the 2-yard line, folks. Let's hit this out of the park for a 3-point shot, or some other sports ball analogy. Don't pack it up now. Whether or not you live in Texas, I want all of you to pitch in and do your part. I know I'm asking a lot, but this is important. Please stop what you're doing, pause this video, and go to house.texas.gov/members right now and choose a representative to call. The link is in the doobly-doo. Please take the time to call and email as many as you are able. Tell them this bill has already passed the House and the Senate, and the current amendments ought to ease any concerns they could possibly have anymore. Tell them 20 other states already have permitless carry, and none of them have experienced any increase in crime as a result. Tell them permitting schemes are racist holdovers from Jim Crow designed to stop minorities from exercising their rights. Tell them permits and fees place an unfair burden on the poor. Tell them if they oppose HB 1927, you will campaign for their opposition in the next primary. We can do this, folks. Or maybe I'm out of line. Is one of these amendments a bridge too far for you? Is it worth scuttling the whole permitless carry bill in order to prevent passage of any one of these amendments? Tell me down below. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy watching these things because I sure like making them for you. If you don't want to get caught with your pants down, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to stay in the know on all the 2A news. If you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you.